Hey everyone, it's Pup Twigs here on another episode of Unleashed. And today joining me, we have Pup Ferris from Manchester, the UK. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm glad I get to talk to you. It's wonderful how technology works today, and I can talk to somebody so far away. So
I wish I,
tell
I
me,
wish I, I wish I was where you were. To be fair,
oh, well, that would be awesome. I would love to do an in person one. I've only got to do one so far out of the 39 episodes. So
wow.
it would be awesome to do an in-person interview as well. So tell me about your. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm assuming that your hood colors are a bluish or a grayish color for your muzzle.
It's a greys color, but I do tend to kind of play into blues as well. So, but mostly greys, whites. Your typical husky colors.
Okay, and is there a reason that you choose those colors?
Yeah, I picked them because of the Siberian husky colors. So when I kind of looked at myself and thought, what kind of pup am I? I just came up with Siberian Husky because, tries really hard to look all beautiful and glamorous. And then in the next shot, you just see like either the tongue's hanging out or they're falling over on the face.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. So, Pup Ferris, where did the name come from?
I've always been quite fascinated with kind of Norse mythology, and when I was choosing my pup name, I had to kind of I was just trying to think, going through all different types of names, and I just thought, hang on a minute, Odin had wolves. And immediately then I went for one of Odin's wolves. Now, Fenris, Fenrir, two different spellings, depending on whether you're using the slightly older English or the newer English. So I went for the newer English, which puts the S into it.
Oh, great, great. I love the stories of how pups come up with their pup names. It's awesome. So, how long have you been a pup now?
So I consider my pup birthday as the 29th of December 2021.
So still
So,
fairly new. I mean, you've been
so
a few years.
yeah, still finding my paws.
Hey, that's okay. Um, so in that time frame, what have you found that has been the easiest part of being a pup in the pup community? And then what on the other side has been the most difficult part of being in the a pup in the pup community?
Um, I think for me that probably the easiest part was kind of making that decision to take that step. Once I realized, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where my head is telling me to go, and my heart was saying you definitely should go there. Then just making that step was the easiest. I think the
Yeah.
hardest part was probably plucking up the courage to actually go out in full pup for the first time. That was pretty scary.
Was it really?
Yeah,
And I guess
yeah,
it can be, but it was that way for me too. But when I think that no one can really see who I am, I mean, it's easier to
yeah,
recognize me with just a half a muzzle than a full
yeah.
hood on. I realized, well, no one cares, so let's just go out and have a good time.
Yeah, yeah. It,
So,
after I'd done that, it was kind of I just stepped straight out and sod it. Now I always want to go out as a pup.
yeah, it got a lot easier after the first time, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, been in it for a little bit of time. Have you found anything that in the pup community that you would want to change?
Um, I think uh, the only thing I would say is over here in the UK and certainly in Manchester, we have a few different pup events, but
Mhm.
they're quite well established pup events. So going to one of those events for the first time as a brand new pup was absolutely terrifying. And I remember absolutely having no idea what I should do, where I should be, and
Mhm.
ended up just kind of stood in the corner holding a drink, just kind of, yeah, okay. I promise I'm enjoying myself, just looking terrified. Um, so for me, the one thing I'd change is almost like have a new pup social where new pups could come and meet old pups, but know that they're going to be in a room with a mix of different people and know that they're going to be kind of welcomed in almost.
Uh-huh. almost like a welcome get together to welcome all the new pups into the group.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
hear you.
Just let them know that there's, it's a safe space, and then, the rest of the event is there. The main event can be another day perhaps, or later in the evening. Even if you just had like an hour of welcoming new pups with just a few people,
Well,
that might help.
how often do you get to go out to events there in Manchester?
Not nearly as much as I would like.
Yeah.
So invariably, just because of work and family commitments and stuff like that, I don't always get the opportunity to go out. But I try and pop in every few months to one of the events of
Yeah.
some description. There's a particular one that I'm actually going to shout out, which is an event called Animals, with a Z at the end. And that's just a fantastic pup and furry event. All creatures, great and small, for want of a better term, are welcome. And it makes for a lovely, great evening. Just lots of fun.
Well, and that's I'd like to also talk about in the pup community there. Is it everything? I mean, do you have kittens and dragons and horses, or is it just mostly pups?
The furry community tends to be kind of a lot more diverse in terms of your animals, but again still tends to be quite kind of almost pup or fox oriented.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see some different choices, which is nice. I always like it. You get the occasional dragon will be wandering around in that particular club, or and it's lovely. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, but it sounds about the same here. We're mostly all pups, but every now and then we do have a dragon that comes out. We do have a horse that comes out every now and then, but that is about it. The rest of us are all pups.
Yeah.
So what about the male to female ratio pups?
Pups, as in our style of pups tends to be more male. I think it tends to be more male oriented. Again, I don't want to assume anything. Don't want to assume anybody's gender. So the interpretation and the impression I'm given, or the one that I take away, is that it tends to be mainly more male pups. But I have encountered female pups. I've encountered non-binary pups, and those who just want to completely not define themselves at all.
Yeah, and it's about the same here as well. It's pretty well male dominant. Although we would welcome any females, we do have a few in our group here that are transgender pups, which again, everyone is welcome. No matter who you are or who you like, you're all welcome in the group here. So,
in my mind, as a kind of short-term member of the pup family, because I haven't been here that long, anybody who comes to me and says, I want to be part of the family, welcome aboard.
Exactly.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm kind of intrigued now with the microphone, now that I know that that's part of your hobby. What are your hobbies?
Primarily, I love playing music, so I'm a multi-instrumentalist, singer. Hence why I've got the kind of more professional mic stand and pop guard. And I don't know if you can see the other side, stupid camera. There is a guitar just behind me here, and there's a few more kind of floating on the wall behind me.
Wow.
And I have to keep trying to get my head out of the way. So there you go. There's three more beside me here.
Oh, well, that is awesome. I love to hear that. So, do you have time for other pets? Do you have pets of your own?
I do have one very well behaved, completely dumb as a bag of rocks, deaf cat. And God love her, she's the most intelligent thing on the planet, who will then promptly just fall off the couch.
Oh, well, yeah. I've got one older cat and two younger cats. So yeah, I know exactly what you talk about.
And she is a bit of a crotchety old lady as well.
Oh, well, I think any of them can be that way. They can play that role very well.
Yeah. She knows when you always know when she wants food, though, because she's the sweetest thing on the planet.
So how does Pup Ferris at this point identify when you think about beta, omega, or alpha?
I'm very definitely a beta.
Beta, okay.
I have an alpha who is my partner, and it just seemed right. It just seemed right to me to not be. I'm not the top dog. I'm not
Hmm.
the brightest. I'm not the brightest button in the box. Very much like the cat. I'll very often just stupidly fall off the couch myself. So somebody's got to be the responsible one. So
Uh-huh.
the alpha gets to be the responsible one, and I'm the support network.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. So, what advice would you have for a new pup coming into themselves as a pup and into the pup community?
I think for somebody who wants to get into it, I'm probably going to attack it from that. Just try it. You don't need any gear. You don't need anything else. Just be a pup.
Hmm.
Jump on the couch, sleep in a curled up ball, act and embrace that inner pup that you want to try and experience and try and channel. Just try it and make the decision whether it feels right for you.
There you go.
You'll never know until you try.
That's right. You got to try it to see if you're
Yep.
going to like it or not.
Yeah.
So, if you could ask the next pup that I interview on here a question about being a pup or the pup community, what question do you think you'd want to ask them?
Okay. I think me being me, my first question would literally be, would you like to play with one of my stuffies? I have a few that we can share. But I don't know. As a serious question, I'd probably want to just I just want to know that they'd found the happy place. I'd like to know, have they found their happy place? Are they in a good happy place as a pup and in their human life as well?
Okay, and that's a very legitimate, good question. And it's funny because the question for you comes from Pup Ryder out of Manchester, Connecticut, here in the United States, and it kind of somewhat ties to the same thing. He wanted to know what has been what has been a pup or part of the pup community done for your mental health.
So, about 2 years ago, I had a work-related nervous breakdown. Um, I went through an awful lot, massive breakdown in communications with my superior in work, and nothing was going right. It felt like my
Mhm.
entire life was just crumbling. Um, Fast forward a couple of years, and when the penny dropped that I was going to be a pup, I kind of thought this is my opportunity to remember how to play, which is something I'd actually forgotten. I'd forgotten that I don't have to be serious all the time, and I can be
Mhm.
playful. And being a pup reminded me that, and reminded me just to play a bit every day.
Yeah. So it's been good for you, especially with your mental health, to help out. Be just getting to pup out every now and then.
Yep, yep. Just being Fenris just enables me to switch off that high pressure aspect of my life, that high pressure job section, and just be dumb,
Awesome.
basically.
Awesome. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So let's say some pups see our podcast down the road and they might want to reach out to you via social media. Do you have any social media that you would like to share that they could say hi to you with?
Yep, you can find me as pup_Fenris, FENRIS, on Instagram. Or if you're a Twitter user, you can find me at pupfenris79.
All right, sweet, sweet. Well, before we get off of here, is there anything else that we need to know about Pup Ferris? I mean, you're pretty intriguing with the musician. You got the cat. Uh, yeah, you're a very awesome pup.
Well, thank you. That's really kind. Is there anything else you need to know about me? I'm somebody who's always going to be there for someone. If anybody ever wants help, wants somebody to talk to, just shout me. I'll always try my best to help somebody, for whatever it is. If it's somebody to talk to, even if it is just, okay, I can't help you with this, but let me see if I can find someone who can.
Right.
So if anybody did want to reach out to me or wanted somebody to talk to, I'm always there.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it has been awesome getting to sit here and spend a little bit of time with you and learn a little bit about Pup Ferris from Manchester, UK. And hopefully we'll be talking again soon.
I look forward to it. And thank you
All
very
right,
much for
man.
having me.
Thank you.
Cheers. Goodbye.